Today I want to bring y'all along with me on just a little bit of our recent Gatlinburg, Tennessee vacation, where we visited a couple of honey producers, honey sellers, one small town honey producer, not small time, but small town, and one world renowned, world famous, world known, I don't know, honey seller. And we're going to talk about packaging, pricing, and maybe give you some ideas on how you can increase your profits with your honey sales to help support your not so inexpensive hobby of beekeeping. Let's go look at that.
Yeah, at the airport.
I heard
right?
somebody had an emergency.
I need help. Welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life.
Good job. I had my hand on the back of his neck the whole
I know.
time controlling him. This is our cabin for the week. There's a walking trail down there. A lot of people in here. This is our first time to Gatlinburg in about 8 years. Changed a lot. Guinness World Records went out of business. Apparently world records aren't that impressive anymore. We're on day 5 of our Tennessee vacation. Today we're going to Elkmont. First we're going to see a well-known beekeeper around here. I'll introduce you to him in just a second. Tomorrow we're going to Klingman's Dome, where you can see 2 or 3 or 20 states from one point.
After you cough up a lung going up a hill. I'm out.
Yeah, you gotta climb to get to it. I want y'all to see what we're into right now. Checking out some honey products produced by Mr. Howard Kerr.
Everybody tells me I'm too cheap on my honey. Is that you agree with that, or
Yeah, I agree with that.
what do you get for a quart?
Some beautiful product here. There's 4 different flavors here.
Right here, right is
4 different kinds.
the difference. This is the kind of difference you get here. That's honey from right around in this area here. This is honey from up in the Townsend area, in the mountains.
Okay.
And
A lot darker.
a lot darker, and it's very tasty. Well, let's get equal bears. Notice I've run out of 23-ounce labels.
What's your preference?
Honey.
It doesn't matter if it's dark or light.
The only honey I've ever met that I didn't like is Privet Hedge and Tie-Tie. I don't care for Tie-Tie honey.
Really?
It sort of tastes rough, and Privet Hedge has got a bite to it that I don't care for.
Yeah.
And this is some here that's
black. You can't even see through that.
that's out of a bee tree. I want you to taste this one right here. Get your toothpick here. You won't have a bad taste.
No.
Try this right here.
Tastes good to me.
What is that one?
You like it?
This is gallberry honey that got overheated.
So now it's pasteurized.
Yeah. Well, nice. It's cooked. I don't sell it for. You know where a lot of that honey will go? Knoxville Zoo has bears.
Oh, yeah.
And they take honey and pour on stuff in the zoo to get the bears to go after that stuff.
Oh, wow.
You don't just feed it back?
Well, I'll tell you what, people making barbecue sauce, there's nothing wrong with using that because they're going to heat it up anyway.
Right.
So I sell that for $50 a gallon.
Because it's not raw anymore.
It's not raw honey. I pride myself on every one of these containers of honey, to the best of my ability and knowledge, it's raw, unfiltered, local honey. The one exception is orange blossom honey over there. I moved my bees to South Georgia, and a friend moves bees to orange blossom, brings them back. So I get some orange blossom honey.
Yeah.
But I've never been in an orange grove in Florida in my life, so. But the bees have been.
If you're in the market for bees come spring, those nuke boxes are going to be full and ready to go. Mr. Kerr is a big seller of nucleus bee colonies. So if you're in the Tennessee area and you're looking for bees, this is the man to come see about it. Hey, look, before we go up front, I'm going to show y'all it's a Amish wax melter. So there you go. Oh, that's good. Double pane, steel wheels, Amish wax melter, solar wax melter.
And you really have cleaner glass than that.
Yeah, you want your glass kind of clean, but it's not hot today anyway. But up front, got 35 colonies. Is that what you said you had? These back boxes are just stored.
That's my extracting supers. I've got 4 benches, each with 40 supers on them. So I've got 160 extracting supers, medium supers. And that's what I put on my bees next spring. And I don't worry about wax moths. I keep my hair like this. They're open at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're mostly yellow comb, so the wax moth's not a problem anyway.
If you want to see Mr. Kerr and listen to him speak, I think he's going to be at the honey convention in 2021.
If they hold it.
In Knoxville.
That's the question still open. We're going to have it or not.
This man's a wealth of knowledge in beekeeping and a lot of other subjects, but great beekeeper. Big help for you if you're getting into beekeeping. And
I learned from the School of Hard Knocks, and I'm happy to share those experiences so others don't experience the School of Hard Knocks. They can hear it from.
But he went deep in the School of Hard Knocks, so he's
Yeah.
a good guy to learn from. So if you get to show up at the honey convention in 2021, come on and listen to him speak. Now, Mr. Kerr was looking pretty sharp when I got here, but look at him now, man.
Tip of the hat to the man.
I noticed he had a hat collection in his office, so
Yeah. Thank you, Randy.
had
Appreciate it.
to have a dirt rooster hat. And I got some honey too. So you want to know how to make more money with your honey sales. So we're going to talk about some ideas on how to increase the value of the product that you offer and increase the profitability of your honey production and sales. And I've got in front of me a few examples of different types of packaging. Not going to hammer on anybody's packaging, but I'm going to point out some shortcomings that just a little tweaking could bring more money for you. I'll start over here on the bottom end, making fun of myself. This is not anything that I sell, but this is how I label something that I'm keeping. Silver Sharpie. I like the way it looks on the bottle, and this is a cutout that I did and some honey that I really liked from a cutout, which if I was selling that, I would mark it in this straight line 1 pounder, the straight side 1 pounder jar, along with a good description of where it came from, what it is, what I like about it. That's how I like to market my cutout honey these days, trying to transition to some different methods. Next up is, and these two here, not anything you'll ever see in a store. You might see somebody selling it out of their home like this, but Diamond Family Homestead with the old handy paper label, tape label. This was a gift to me. It's fully crystallized, but it was a good flavor. I kept it. These two are no-nos in how you're going to present your honey. The next two are not bad presentation, but leave a little bit to be desired, especially in the labeling department. Now the squeeze bears, everybody loves squeeze bears, and this light colored honey in a squeeze bear sells really fast. But this labeling is a home printed label, obviously. It's SNC Heavenly Hives. If you want some of their honey, they're in Fresno, Oklahoma. Nice looking honey, nice looking little bear. But you can see the plate for the labels on the front and back of this bear. And this label has a wrap around. I mean, people will buy that, but if you just change that one little thing, it increases the value of your product. And I'll show you something on these smaller containers that we do. We've gone to a clear label so that you're not obstructing the view of the color and clarity of the honey. And this is our queen line jar that we sell. Most of what we sell on the internet is packaged in a 1 pound queen line jar. And it's because it's a little thinner so that light goes through it better, and it also, with the clear labels, you can see really good what you're getting. So that's how we bottle our honeys for sale on the internet. This here, also a gift, both of these were. This comes from Mr. Bill up in New York from the farm at Blackberry Hill. No contact info, but aside from that, the labeling looks proper for sales, and I believe he's probably going to be trying to sell. So, little quick tip from Mr. Bill. Very nice jar, very nice little jelly jar. You can buy in bulk and get some similar jars with smooth sides, a little bit cheaper, because this probably came from Walmart, if I had to guess. The problem with these jars here is they're not smooth, and it's your labeling won't really lay down on it real well. And if you're packaging for long periods of time, maybe your label start peeling up at the edges and things. This label seems to be sticking pretty well, but the print's small, so if you put much more than that on it, and the pure honey is not easy to read. And of course, my eyes are getting a little ready for some reading glasses. But that jar, as nice as it is, and I like those, I probably would go with the smooth side. Over here to, I'll go with my brother's honey. Professionally printed label on a smooth side, pint mayonnaise jar, white lid, all the proper labeling. The problem that I have with this label that I haven't really paid attention to until I got Mr. Kerr's honey is that it doesn't say exactly where it's from. Now this is a tip that I'm taking from Mr. Kerr that I'm probably going to incorporate into my honeys that I do with my feral hive honey, but I don't necessarily do with my extracted honeys of my managed colonies. He puts the town that it's from. So he's got Townsend, Tennessee on here is where this honey came from. I like that. I like to know exactly where the honey came from. I think that's a value add. He's also got his bee club information on top of the jar. So that also is a good thing if somebody wants to come join your bee club, and he's the president of his club probably, and he's the president of Tennessee Beekeepers Association. So that helps push his little club. I say little club, I think they have a big club. But that is, to me, is a value add. The town or the county, maybe, if you didn't want to put your town, but a more narrowed down thing than Mississippi and local. Because if you bought this, you could buy it in Mississippi, that's the only place you're gonna buy it, but local to what? So if you bought it in Jackson, Mississippi, is it local to Jackson or is it local to the Gulf Coast where it was harvested? So I like the idea of knowing exactly where, what town specifically that came from. So if you saw, so that's packaging. Now the step up from any of these, well, there's a couple things. There's a few things you can do to step up. Some of you creative ladies, my wife included, when it comes gift time, Christmas gifts or any other time, these ring lids can hold a piece of material over this to kind of dress it up, and then you put a ribbon on it and that kind of thing. That's a value add. It's a gift value add, just like you saw at Savannah Bee Company. They're not selling honey, they're selling specialty gift products or specialty honey products. Their packaging is phenomenal, and if you saw the pricing there, $35 for that bottle, and you thought, geez, that's outrageous. Not really, and they're selling them as fast as they can stock the shelves. You saw how many people was in that store, and they were not having problems spending that money on that honey. There's no way the market would bear that around here. Maybe it won't bear that in your area, but maybe it will. Maybe you're just not marketing and packaging and presenting properly to bring that price. Because I tell you, if you go on their website, you're going to find a whole lot more expensive honey on there. They've got two other honeys on there that are $100 a bottle, and one of them is sold out. So go in there and see how they're packaged. Give you some ideas. They're wax dipped, corked, I think. Wine bottle also. They come in a nice box, but they're sold as gifts and not necessarily honey that you're going to take with you to Waffle House to put on your breakfast. Who are you marketing to? Where are you marketing? If people are on Facebook looking for just honey and you're selling just honey, you're going to be competing with a bunch of other people. You're only going to be able to adjust so much. Well, same thing if you're selling in a store that's got 10 other people's products on the shelves. You're kind of competing price-wise with all these other products, and if they see a pint of your honey for $12 and a pint of somebody else's right down the shelf for $9, and they both say raw honey, and they're both from the same area, they're just packaged a little different, they're probably going to go for the $9 bottle, I tell you that. And are they going to go to Walmart and or Sam's and get a big bottle of sous beef for $1.50? You know what I mean? So you got to consider who you're marketing against and where you're marketing. So if you look at sous beef stores, they're all in nice areas, tourist areas, high traffic areas where they're going to bring in people that are there to spend money. They don't go open up next door to a Family Dollar across the street from an apartment complex. That's not who they market to, and it's not who they're going to sell to. If you live in a lower end community or lower end part of the town, when you get ready to sell, find you a spot to set up next to high society and present it as such. And your sales will increase, and so will your profitability. So those are just some quick ideas. I'm sure some of you can probably add a whole lot to that. And if you would, in the comment section, hit the comment section and let us know some of your ideas. Because maybe looking at Mr. Kerr's or Savannah Bee Company or My Bottling or something, got the wheels spinning, and you're like, ooh, I got another good idea. So hit the comment section. I'm always looking for good ideas. I'll take all the advice I can get. Certainly don't know it all, and willing to learn from just about anybody. And that's that. And the rest of the video is just maybe some vacation footage from the rest of our trip. And thank y'all for sticking in. I'll see you on the next one. We're winding our way through the Great Smoky Mountains on the way to a ghost town. What'd you say the name of that place was?
Elkmont.
Ghost town.
Oh, that was scary.
Tourism's really big up here. And bears, everything's got a bear theme to it. Even our cabin we stayed in had little carved bear statues and bear spray for when you wanted to go on a walk. And then when I went to put the garbage out this morning, I noticed that the garbage can had big bear claw marks in it. Tourism and bears is a big thing up here, and apparently pancakes. There's a pancake house for every 100 bears.
And peanut butter for those pancakes?
Yeah. We've arrived in Elkmont, a ghost town. It's a historic community, historic getaway for the rich, I think. And they're starting to restore some of the old buildings. It's been vacant for a lot of years. I think the last person living here died in 70 or 71. And the government had bought the properties out and gave some people family leases, lifetime leases. I think 2001 was the last year anybody had one of those. We're just out here walking through the buildings. You can go in all of them except for the ones that they've rehabbed. Okay, where's the bridge?
I don't know, but I found limbs in no tree. Do you think somebody just dumped them over this?
I guess so.
Because they're freshly cut, they're still green.
Are you wanting them for an arrangement?
No, not this time. I just was like, where did the limbs come from? Because there's no tree here.
I don't know. They trimmed something.
So that's my mystery of the day.
We found the cemetery. You can see behind me. Overlooks the campground. I can tell by the dates, a lot of these are not residents of this community. They're probably just family members that own the plots now. But there are some old graves in here. I'm sure there's some unmarked ones. There's the remains of an old home site. It's part of the foundation right there. I think we found a row of remains of the rest of the houses. I think there were 70 buildings on the property initially. There was 50 acres here. Not all 50 of it had buildings on it, but that's the place where the slab we were at a minute ago. You see the parking lot below that, and then the houses that are still standing are right below the parking lot. Quite a few chimneys up and down the river here. This must have been the Hamptons part of the complex. I reckon the poorer people lived in town. These are the nicer lots as they're right on the river. And it is some kind of find down here. There's some more of the foundation of the house over there. This was a big house. This tree wasn't here. That would have been in the middle of the house, I think. These folks here with the backpacks just came from 5 miles up the trail. No chance I'm doing that. Maybe next year, maybe I'll get in a little better shape, but I ain't hiking no 5 miles in the mountains. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm working up a sweat. These hills are steep. And we've been climbing up and down these banks of the river on the edges of these cabins. I found one still standing. They got quite a few of these blocked off so you can't get in, or so you're not supposed to go in them because they're hazardous. Oh, this is a 2-story as well. Yeah, this place is falling in pretty bad. Oh, I'm in trouble now.
Well, I came out from down there a while ago taking a picture of a fragmented, broken up toilet on the fireplace hearth, and I turn around and you're gone. And I'm thinking, it's pretty big for somebody to have towed it off in these woods without a muffled sound.
A
So
bear could have got me, you never know.
where did he go? It cannot have been far. Because it's uphill. And
It's
you
uphill.
ain't going far uphill.
I came up here. Look at the rings are in that tree over there.
What tree, baby? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Turkeys. There's a cistern or something over in here. A big cistern. Or a basement, maybe. Must be maybe it's a basement dug into the side of the hill. This remains of something big. It was a big house or terracotta plumbing. Big old basement foundation. Turkeys crossing the top of the hill up there. These tree roots are starting to push it in on the sidewalls. Some giant trees up beside it. We're exploring all these places, figuring out how people lived and where everything was on the property. Just found the front fence to this yard, to this property. That's the gate right there she's at. We were kind of exploring off the beaten path back there, but we saw a bear sign, probably from this morning, but I don't really know. But it was definitely from today sometime. So we decided to head on back out. I'm sure there's still people on the trail, but there wasn't a whole lot of people coming out anymore. This is all that's still standing of the community of 70 plus buildings. I don't know if it was 70 houses or just 70 buildings, including whatever, storage buildings, smoke houses, whatever. But this is the remaining part of the community. We're headed up the mountain now to Klingman's Dome. It's supposed to be a spot where you can see multiple states from one point. It's about a half-mile hike from the parking spot. You know, one thing I haven't seen up here at all that really probably would do well is a camera store, because everybody's got a camera.
I haven't seen any of
Rocks. We just passed a couple of really good lookout spots. I gotta tell you, my fear of heights might have kicked in just a little bit. It's like I might fall off the mountain. I don't know. Maybe we could stop right here and just take pictures right here.
I'm not scared.
I don't want to fall off the top of no mountain. We just came down off Klingman's Dome and I was so winded. When I got to the top, I completely forgot to record anything. I got a bunch of still shots.
That's okay, it's etched in my mind.
Yeah, it was a steep, high climb, and then when you get to the top, there's a big looping
maybe you could put some pictures up.
lifted walkway. I don't even know what you'd call it, that you have to go up to get to the top. And I hate heights, and so that was another challenge to get up that. But super steep.
You did so good.
Got very winded. I'm sweating like crazy right now. I'm fixing to. We pulled out to give somebody a spot because people are waiting in line to get up here, and there's nowhere to park without walking. The last people we just passed had walked in 3/10 of a mile, only to hike another half-mile up to Klingman's Dome. We pulled out to give somebody a spot, but we're gonna get down the hill. There's another couple places down here to take good pictures. Get down there and stop somewhere and put on a dry shirt. what was your week like?
Well, see, I get this phone call the other day that somebody is in Gadsden, Alabama. This is like, what, Wednesday? Tuesday? Tuesday.
It was middle of the night.
Yeah, where you at? I'm in Gunnersville with my wife on a holiday. Oh, well, we're in Gadsden, and I'm like 45 minutes away. Great, okay. So how long are you gonna be there? Well, we're already on the road. Well, then why'd you call? Well, we're going up towards Gatlinburg for a couple days. Okay. Really? Hang on a minute. I got the time off this week. I'll meet you up at Gatlinburg. Let's do this. Well, we're like 45 minutes from Gatlinburg. Okay, fine. So I'm still waiting, and I'm still waiting, and I'm still waiting. He finally, like 2 days later, is like, yeah, we just got dinner and made it back to the hotel. You probably don't want to come up. So I got dissed by dirt roosters, pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Well, we spent 5 hours to do dinner one night. 5 hours, including traffic and waiting for a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was just hectic. There's a lot of people up there. I figured one more was just going to mess things up for us.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually respect, because I know who all went with him, and getting a seat at any restaurant under COVID is like, you know, impossible to get 4 people. And when you got 8 people, which is usually the limit, they make everybody else sit over. So we would have been the sore thumbs that would have had to sit on the table next to him. And that just feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind putting JP at the kid table.
It was me and Yappy are close, but it was a family vacation.
Oh.
We're not blood, so.
We're not?
No.
Why do you still why are you still filing taxes on me then? I mean, really? Between you and JP flip-flopping every year, who's getting to claim me on taxes?
I'm gonna let JP have you this year.
Actually, I keep waiting for Mr. Ed to ask me for my Social Security number 2.